For Bunnings Homegrown Heroes, the mahi never stops. Nominate the unsung heroes in your touch community that go above and beyond. They could win $5,000 to invest into the sport we love. Nominate today.
Morena te whānau and welcome to the Bunnings Warehouse 2025 Masters National Championships held here at Ngā Punawai Sports Hub in Christchurch. For those of you who have joined us in the two previous games, welcome back. For those of you who are just joining us for the first time to watch the second of our finals on day 3 of this tournament, the 55 men's grade. The final is between Auckland and Counties Manukau, so it's quite interesting that these two teams come all the way down, next door neighbours to Ōtautahi Christchurch, to play each other in the final. Joined in the commentary box with me once again, and he will be all day, is Rod Walker. Rod, before we talk specifically about this next game coming up, your thoughts on the previous one where we've seen North Harbour get over the top of a very courageous Canterbury team in the over 60s grade?
Yeah, I guess the biggest thing, Maya, is, form to date kind of counts for very little, is what we've seen in the last couple of games. Teams that probably should have run away with it certainly didn't have their own way. So, but I guess that's the shape of finals footy, and so it does make this one here an interesting game. But certainly enjoyed that last game, the 60s, the effort that Canterbury put in there with 12 players, absolutely massive. And at the end of the game, everyone's enjoying it. As you said before, in terms of this tournament, the atmosphere here is probably the best tournament around. And
we're just seeing right there what this vibe is all about. Obviously, the Counties Manukau women's team come out to cheer their team on, but they hung around also to cheer the Auckland team on and giving them a high five. And again, just another one of the amazing things about the sport. The referees for this one, Rod, Kitty Martin, David Pilkington and Bridget Taylor, and between them I imagine they've probably reffed around 3 million games of touch over 10,000 seasons, so very experienced referees, only in terms of the amount of games they've refereed. Still spring chickens, I'm sure. Well, maybe not today. So we talk often about the teams and how much gas is left in the tank after 3 long days. Well, referees, they tend to do at least the same as most teams, if not more games over the course of 3 days. And a lot of these referees have not only refereeing here, they've just reffed at the Open Nationals 2 weeks ago, probably at the Youth Nationals early on in February, and then at secondary school. So it's a massive effort from our referees. And talking about massive efforts, and our referees can be your homegrown heroes, there's our competition. There's the QR code. Scan that QR code and nominate your homegrown heroes from your region so they can go in the draw to win $5,000. There are 5 of these packages for the outstanding people back in your community that contribute so much to the game of touch and make it what it is in your rohe. Auckland versus Counties Manukau, 55 men's. It's almost the who's who in terms of the team list, Rod. And I'll let you talk about the Auckland team list.
Oh, yeah, obviously these guys have been together, Maya, for a long, long time. But, Mr. Touch, Peter Walters, he probably heads that list, Bruiser McDonald. Then they move on down to Cleary, Tui Vasa and Shane Edwards. So, they've got ball players right across the park. They've certainly had the best of the pool in terms of making a clean sweep there. But as we've just discussed, it counts for very little when it comes to final touch.
Yeah, it will be very interesting to see if the same thing happens as has happened in the 2 previous games. Those round robin results really not counting for much. Counties Manukau, there's their team list. I'll tell you what, the only team not as hard to coach as the 60 men, but probably the 55s. In terms of these 2 coaches, is it a little bit more the same like you said yesterday? It's around keeping them connected and stop them from killing each other, and hopefully they can get through the end of the tournament?
Yeah, that's the one. Point them all in the same direction. That's the key. As we see, Counties off to a great start, just pushing through, keeping it direct. And that'll be interesting to see how both of these teams play this, Maya. We've seen the 2 successful teams in the past 2 games. It's exactly what they've done. Get forward first, earn the right, You see Counties playing typical Counties, just nice and relaxed. 0 count. Oh, he's away. How patient will Auckland be?
No one's keen to run the length of the field. Just in that break, I went out and had a look at the field, and it's a lot less dewy. And I imagine a little bit of that is because of the sun drying things up, but I also just the players playing on it and moving it, because then I also went and checked the finals field, and that's where the remainder of our live stream games will be broadcast from for the rest of today, and it's still very much as dewy as what it was like before the first game then come to air. So it'll be interesting to see for our next teams what they do, but this pitch out here now, there's really no excuses. We see the first touchdown there for Auckland. Pretty simple setup, got into easy numbers, draw and pass, and then for the first touchdown we see the man you talked about, Johnny Tuivasa, the number 10 for Auckland.
Yep, as expected, Peter Walters, when he goes on, he can create, and he's certainly patient in setting that one up.
We watched this Counties Manukau team this morning before we come on air. They played in the first round at 8 o'clock this morning. They played against the Canterbury team, so obviously they got over them to get into this final.
Yeah, they'll certainly be a lot more sure-footed. Their first game was a little bit in that juke, a little bit slippy and slidey, as we see a pick here, looking back on the inside. Yeah, you can see Shane Edwards here. You can just hear his voice. He's directing that defensive line around. Very animated. Never short of something to say, Shane Edwards.
It's a real key skill, isn't it, the comms? And when you have someone like Shane in your team, everyone knows what they're doing. No one's left guessing or confused. He's always got a massive work rate, and there's not too many people more competitive than he is.
Absolutely not. On and off the field, to be honest. He loves the competitive nature of everything. Unfortunately, Craig Coulter there couldn't quite find the target. Gives Counties Manukau the opportunity. See Auckland active. Here comes that defence. There's a second wave coming now.
We're expecting much different in this grade from the 60s grade. Rod?
Oh, maybe, obviously a little bit quicker. But all the play patterns and everything very much the same. Important for Auckland, I guess, is they just want to keep the pressure on. Counties, on the other hand, need to lock Auckland down this end and not let the big guns have the opportunity to create.
A little bit clunky here, the last two sets for Auckland. Probably expecting them to have found their rhythm by this time in the match. See here, Edwards.
Jordan looking long.
Bullet pass would have been a great one to catch. The pass there from Ian Jordan. Unfortunately, couldn't be held by the Auckland winger. Counties Manukau escaping that one.
Yeah, what I like with Counties at the moment is they're just taking that flow option away from Auckland, so being very disruptive in the ruck, which is cool. Because if you do allow this Auckland crew to get some flow on, they'll find holes for sure.
Look at the Auckland defence. This wave defence sending up 3. Fantastic job. Being caught at dummy half.
As you were saying, Maya, where you should focus your efforts. So it's clear that Auckland's decided to focus it around that orange zone defence.
Hitting the head here. Not feeling too great. Fortunately, just going down. Sang Yum. Tuivasa now with Walters. Nice little intercept there. Will nearly intercept Te Whatu Hirawini. Actually, it was Chairman Ngari.
He understands the danger that Walters possesses, so staying nice and tight.
Are those one of those forward passes you're talking about off the ruck earlier, Rod?
I try not to discuss those, Maya.
Pete doesn't need any more advantage. He's good enough. That one there, though, we see it here. Just a simple quickie play. Gets the ball back and his speed. Ball in two hands. Defenders have no idea which way they need to go. Excellent work there from Auckland. They score their second one, 2-0 against Counties Manukau. How many, if you had to guess, how many test caps do you reckon there are in the Auckland team?
Yeah, not too sure. They've certainly got, international players across the park. It's spooky, but County's doing a good job at the moment. Just trying to run it wide. He's stepped inside him. Well, couldn't quite step inside the second man. But he certainly had the first defender dusted.
Unfortunately, come down on his back, and I think the whiplash may have made his head hit the ground, or might not even be his head, maybe his knee. The body of the Auckland player just coming through and cleaning up his legs. Hopefully it's not too bad. And you see the time keep going in touch. As many will know who have tuned in to watch this one, there is no injury time in a game of touch. With the multiple games that are played at the moment, we've got 17 fields here. There are games being played on, and while we are into the finals, there are other playoff games being played in the other grades for 3rd and 4th, 5th and 6th, 7th and 8th, etc. So those games must continue. The next rounds need to start when they do so. Hopefully nothing too serious here. Just taking the right precautions, which is fantastic to see. Got great medical staff down at this venue, as well as the support staff and the teams. Not ideal. It'll shorten this game up if nothing more, Rod, and I'm not sure whose favour that plays into, but ultimately, first and foremost, it's just ensuring that that player is safe and well.
Oh yeah, absolutely, Mike. And it's imperative that we take care of the player. A little bit unfortunate, as we see the medics dealing with him at the moment. But both crews bringing it in. At this stage, I think in terms of Auckland, just where we are on the clock, a little slow to get off the mark, to be honest. And County's doing a good job, just as I said, just to disrupt things through the park and try and take the flow away. So it'll be interesting to see how Lance Flevel, coach of Counties, if he chooses to change things up slightly here, and just keep that pressure on Auckland. Just from what we've seen so far, it looks like Auckland certainly has a little bit more pace on Counties, so the more disruptive Counties can be, heavier touches and the rest of it, it could bode them well.
While they're geographical neighbours, would they ever play each other over the course of a season?
As these two groups, no. But I guess what we need to understand is being so close, a lot of these players are actually their club mates, and then they break off into their provinces. So whilst they might not play against one another all that often, they certainly are playing together throughout the season.
How does it work in terms of making one of these teams? Is it literally like someone sets up a WhatsApp group, sends out a message and say, who wants to play this year? Do provinces have a trials day for all of the grades that they're looking to send through, and it depends on who turns up? Yeah,
generally it's a trials process, but the reality is a lot of these guys have been together. These teams have been together for so long now. They all come together through the trials anyway. So it's always an interesting scenarios with these groups. And individuals, they change for one reason or they'll end up changing provinces as time goes by. So I enjoy the competitiveness of this grade, and it's been like that for a lot of years. Obviously, a lot of them were with the 50s before they moved through to the 55s, and it was competitive back then. So they never ever give anything up. Either of these teams in both these grades, we see. There's some concern with the injured party.
It almost seems what you're describing is it's almost a reunion of sorts every year that these players get together. I mean, while they do play club, there's players there. We see Bruce McDonald and Monty had a bit to do with them. They were involved with the USA teams going through to the World Cup. So that was interesting to see them, and then obviously they come back for this one. So great to see those players that played for so many years together to be able to come back and play at this level, represent their region, their province. You can see some players in the background pointing over. What it looks like we're going to be doing is shifting this game from field 2 over to the finals field. So it will be the first look that we get at the finals field, Rod.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and the right thing to do too. The safety and care of the injured player is paramount there, as we see the buggy in the background, so the medics are there with him. But yeah, the other thing you'll find with these teams too, Maya, is they will indeed, they'll move away and they'll play pan packs together and a myriad of other tournaments throughout the year together as a group. So. That's where the familiarity comes with these guys.
I tell you what, it's not just the teams and the Kaiwawal that need to change spots. It's also the camera crew. So luckily we have such an incredible crew that we work with here. The Stream Shot team, who I have no doubt are running across the field with cameras in tow and tripods and cords all over the place. So it's been an interesting national competition. We've had a few different variables that we don't normally see. Fortunately with this one, definitely it's the players' health and well-being that is the first priority. It's not just as easy as pick them up and move them to the side, and I love that again about sport in New Zealand in general, but definitely with regards to touch. So we can see there in the pictures the Counties Manukau team coming across. There's 2.5 minutes left in this game. I wouldn't be surprised if there's no play for the remainder of this half, and then just in that halftime break, both teams having the opportunities to warm up again, Rod.
Yeah, absolutely. It's the right thing to do, and you're right. I think they will end up running this half down. But what that does do, I think it gives an advantage to counties, because the opportunity now, there's still plenty left in the leagues because they haven't run it out in this half. So there should be still plenty. So what I would expect Lance Flavel to say is just get his boys to get up and get active, and just attack defensively, just attack the Auckland offense. So it could be interesting in this next half.
As teams, they'd be probably stoked, right? Instead of two halves they have to manage themselves through, they've now got one lot of 15 minutes. They can absolutely throw caution to the wind and literally empty the tank for the remaining half. It looks like they're coming straight into it. I'm quite surprised by this. Actually would have thought they would take a break with only short time left and then just start the second half. We can see here event organisers talking with our referees just to check with them. Decision looks like it's nearly about going to be made.
Yeah, okay, cool.
Just heard in the background there, Rod, that tournament director has decided that they'll go to manual timing for this one. With there being the finals day, obviously the timings in between rounds is 50 minutes as opposed to the 40 minutes that it is on day 1 and 2. Therefore, there is that extra 10-minute buffer that the tournament control team have just in case we have drop-offs or instances like this where they're going to play 6 minutes of this first half. And you will hear a hooter in the background shortly, and that will be for all the other teams.
And as you can see there, Auckland very aware of the situation, started to pick the pace up straight away. Unfortunately got caught out late in that set. As we see counties, let's see if there's any change up in their approach to the game.
Again, talked about their dew, a lot more dew on this field than on number 2, so it'll be interesting to see if that plays a part as well. Counties Manukau with a fantastic opportunity, down 2-0. As we just said, 6 minutes remaining in this first half. Down to manual time. So if you see the game start and stop without the hooters, that hooter there is for everyone else. Nice long ball from Chairman out to this right-hand side. Good catch. Well defended, though, from Auckland.
Patience there. Patience from counties in that setup, which is what they needed to do. It's important now that they get active, lift, and try and keep Auckland out of their half. So we see Auckland happy to go lateral, get their new flow back on the field as we see their transition coming on. Plenty of talk, nice little off ball there, extra.
They really have picked up the speed, haven't they, Rod, this Auckland team?
Yep, absolutely well aware of where the clock's at. Shane Edwards sliding on there, just looking for that little extra slide out to the wing. Didn't quite come off.
Interesting, the impact of this one. It would have been great to catch up with one or two of the players just to see how that interrupted the team's mindset. Changing fields, losing a bit of time. I'm sure they'll be happy with the losing a bit of time part. But also being concerned for one of their players who's still down.
Well defended there by Counties. Managing to hold. Edwards trying to take them to the short side and step back in. But Counties closed the gap real quick. As we see once again Auckland lifting with that wave defence. Just putting the pressure on, and they've turned it over. Have Counties in the wrong part of the field. And I'm sure we'll see Walters start to come on now. Perfect attacking position, and there he is. Right on cue.
Yep, he's only going to be playing in one half of the field probably for this one, and that's all you'd want him to be. Let's just wait and see the magic that'll unfold. Absolute genius.
Can they keep the legs looking long? Good defence there by Counties.
Yeah, well defended from Counties, Manukau. It started with a hiss and a roar since we've started play again, but it's almost fallen back into what it was. Just a bit of disconnection in the middle of the field between the two Counties Manukau players. Unfortunately, looked at each other. One of those situations, it's like in cricket, the ball's in the air and you both say yours.
It's not the first time that Peter Walters has caused that in defensive lines.
Just how he holds the ball in two hands, shoulders are square. So defenders have to make a decision. They just can't hold off him, because when they do, that's what happens. One of the many attributes he has, and the reason why he's the greatest to ever do it. Much better here from Counties Manukau. Good flow, nice extra pass. Got Auckland on the back foot. Unfortunately, just come back to the side. They had numbers. Didn't have numbers on.
Yep, they dug deep in behind the gate there. They're in a perfect position to attack there. As we see, nice little short ball. Can he get it wide?
6 again, maybe, is it? No. Referee happy that player didn't intentionally play at that. You would have just heard another hooter. That was to start the second half. For the other teams that are not on this field.
For those who've just tuned in, there's an unfortunate incident on the backfield in this game, so we have changed fields, and we're running manual timers now. So this game is running on its own, as we see Auckland now a lot of speed in their process now. Poking through, did he make that touch? He's called it.
Yeah, we've seen Tuivasa come on from the sub box. Sweep around the outside of Edwards, get the ball, and just the speed onto the ball. Tell you what, I'm sure the defence are glad that it's only touch, because he's an impressive specimen. You wouldn't want to have to tackle him. McDonald now working through that right-hand side.
Auckland have certainly turned up the intensity here, ensuring that they're down the right end of the park. As we see Edwards just trying to probe out the three, open up the hole, running the peel. Can he drop him into to Ivasa there? Well worked.
This is the fluency I was expecting at the start of this game on the Auckland attack. Everyone running beautiful lines, angles. Starting to pick things up now.
Yeah, it's the advantage of having some seasoned characters in your team, the likes of Walters and Edwards, who can dictate your play selection. And they certainly, Shane Edwards picked the right one there. Tuivasa, a massive unit. Quick.
Thought you were going to say reminds you of yourself.
Well, the massive unit for all the wrong reasons, maybe, Maya. But good work here from Counties, looking for the extras. And if they can push outside that now, I tell you what, this Auckland defence is very, very active, very busy. This is what Counties need to do. Just keep checking outside the point.
Yeah, it seems like Counties in those first 3 touches breaks down that Auckland defence, but unfortunately they end up going back to the side where isn't the numbers that they've created, unfortunately. Chairman, now what can he do with that?
Yep, Counties a little bit more ad-lib in their style. Auckland a lot more structured. Looking for down the short side. Good way to end the set, making sure that you're on the far side.
And there we have it. The referee didn't hear a hooter, but that is time up. Time was taken and will be taken manually for the remainder of the game. That is the finish to this half. Auckland up against Counties Manukau 4-0. Half-time break, and then we'll be right back with you for the second half.
For Bunnings Homegrown Heroes, the mahi never stops. Nominate the unsung heroes in your touch community that go above and beyond. They could win $5,000 to invest into the sport we love. Nominate today.
Kia ora touch whānau, welcome to Quick Hit, your short, sharp and touch-relevant warm-up, with the aim of warming up and moving those important body parts before kicking into activity. The Quick Hit warm-up requires minimal space, minimal time, and allows for innovation.
For Bunnings Homegrown Heroes, the mahi never stops. Nominate the unsung heroes in your touch community that go above and beyond. They could win $5,000 to invest into the sport we love. Nominate today.
Kia ora team, George here from Touch NZ. Now we all enjoy a bit of touch, but without a proper warm-up, the chances of being injured are massively increased. So to keep you on the field and out of the emergency room, Touch NZ have made a short and easy warm-up series for all levels, proven to lower the chance of injury by close to 50%. So head on over to our site and check them out. Play safe, play smart.
For Bunnings Homegrown Heroes, the mahi never stops. Nominate the unsung heroes in your touch community that go above and beyond. They could win $5,000 to invest into the sport we love. Nominate today.
No mai hoki mai ki te kemu tua toru here at Ngā Punawai Sports Hub. The 2025 Masters National Championships. Our second final, third live stream game, second final, the 55 men's final. Auckland up against Counties Manukau. Joining me in commentary is Rod Walker. Rod, we had an unfortunate incident in the first half. That player is off the field now, though, which is fantastic news. We've had to shift from field 2 to field 1, a half a game earlier than we had. We've gone back to manual timing for this one, so things are running a little bit different. But what isn't different is Auckland and how impressive they've been. In that last 6 minutes when we got over here, they really went to another gear, didn't they?
Oh, absolutely. And they know how to apply pressure, and they certainly got the weapons to do that. So it's important here with Counties that they, just stay with them, get up as quickly as they can, put the pressure, and just force some errors out of Auckland. So we see Walters just giving the orders at the moment. I think he'll fake this side, whatever it is. Going shot, looking for the tips. Good defence by Counties. Patience, that's holding. Well, he got outside him there. Oh, and nice step. Managed to get back on the inside there.
Yeah, Bruce McDonald just still, I'm sure he looks exactly the same. I remember when I first started refereeing, he might even have been in the team. The only difference between what he looks like now and then is he had the blue shoes on back then. I'm not sure if you can remember the blue shoes. Always stuck out for me. Always the quickest player in every grade that he played in. And the connection he has with Peter Walters is outstanding. With regards to Counties Manukau, Rod, what did you see in that first half that gives you confidence that they have the ability to come back in this one?
I think it's just how disruptive they were being through the field. And if it meant slowing the game down, then that's exactly what they were doing. And I think they just need to do things to take that flow away from Auckland, because that's where Auckland, if you allow them to have that flow, then they'll get on top of you. So it's important that you kind of kill that. Bit of an error there by Counties in the end of the park that they wanted to be at. You don't get many opportunities to attack, so when you do, you need to make the most of them. It's a little bit better by, got caught in the ruck there, but a little bit better by Counties there, just trying to get up and get in the way.
The backdrop has definitely changed from what we've seen. The beautiful hills down here in the city of Christchurch has now changed to this incredible facility. You can see there, top of the screen, the donut caravan that unfortunately has attracted me over there too many times. And there you see the crowd, the athletes' village, and that behind the polo fields, the team's tents, gazebos. It's an incredible facility we have here. And when we get back through to halfway, you'll see the grandstands. But what's also incredible is the defence showing and the resilience showing here by Counties Manukau.
Yeah, Peter Walters just looking for that little bump play. Didn't quite come off. Counties are up for it. They're certainly aware that it's coming. So we see Walters just once again just try and push over to one side. You can guarantee that it'll come to the open side again fairly quickly. As we do it, looking short, chop ball. Defence just a little bit too loose there. Open side is shut side. You've been Bartlett back to Walters. Nice little chop there by the Auckland.
I tell you what, if you hadn't scored a touchdown in the tournament, all you do just have to go out and get into Pete's pod, right? Because he's gonna set you up and save you from the undie run.
Yep, the best players have always got all the time in the world, and he's certainly one of those. Play on there by Counties, nearly gave themselves up there by stopping. Yeah, well done.
Ariki Edwards, I was impressed with how he played this morning up against Canterbury. And again this afternoon, he's just always going. He's always at the Auckland team. He's got a lot of energy. Plays with real intensity. See him here in the middle, working with Tata.
Yeah, I think that's the play here for Counties. Just what they're doing. Just a 32 play far side. You see a little bit of a disconnect there between the 3 and the 2 on this side. So it's clear that if they can run a 32, some sort of 32 peel play or 32 long, I think that disconnect between the 3 and 2 here, middle link, it's still alive. Straight across the line, just trying to run out the touch count. He's outside and the refs picked it up. Well, they have now. Referee Pilkington.
The first catch that he had to do, and he nearly dropped it, referee Pilkington. Stick with the whistle, I think one of the players said, but Auckland, this is the flow again. We spoke about this. McDonald there, just getting them on the front foot. They come on from that box. They're all set. Edwards now continues that forward momentum. That's a nice touch. Edwards holding the ball there with two hands. The defender had all the rights there to, well, the opportunity probably more correct to interrupt that. Nice little runaway. The number 12 for Auckland, Graham Ewart. Just undercover on that left-hand link side.
Head down, pumping arms.
Gets the ball with really nothing on and then just hits the NOS button. See you later. Excellent touchdown. How long do you reckon that'll be by the end of tonight? How far he ran?
Oh, he ran the full length.
Full length, yep.
Ran the full length.
Touchfield 70, at least run 80.
But it's a wonderful effort to find the hole, and then once he was in it, to make the most of it.
Bit of gamesmanship here. Last game for these two teams. 8th or 9th game it will be for each of them. Yes. Auckland's defence has been incredible, hasn't it, in terms of through the field, sending waves of 3 up the whole time. You talked about how active they were down on the scoreline.
Yeah, always well drilled, I guess. These squads, long ball, touch called.
It's not often what you're talking about with the teams in these grades. That defence is a big priority for them, but definitely for Auckland. I guess when you've got the attacking players in the team that you have, you don't really need to coach too much to that.
No, not. And, you know, it's a defensive end that can win you games as much as, you know, it's about how many touchdowns you get. It's how many you keep out. As we see Bruiser getting the ball across the field, and this is the speed that Auckland's moving at.
Watching this Auckland team in this 55 grade, they could quite comfortably play in the 2 grades below them, couldn't they?
Yep, absolutely. They're certainly comfortable with one another and their game plan, and they're sticking with their game plan. As we see Edwards and Walters just setting up together now, see what the 2 old hands can come up with. Who's the target in this case? Inside, over the top. Well constructed, Maya.
Yeah, well done. I'm not sure if that was like a planned move, but it was more making the defenders make decisions and then eyes up footy from that point here. You see Pete come hard out to this right-hand side, steps back in, which creates space for Edwards. The shutter comes in. Edwards sees that nice and early and has the skill to be able to throw that over the top to the winger. I definitely wouldn't say that play had a name.
No, definitely not. But there's one thing that, you know, Pete Walters is good at. He'll shift across and then he'll square up to a player. And the player has to engage, and, you know, once they're engaged, they're not going anywhere else, which means there's a hole somewhere. So, you know, they've played that. He's very, very good at it, has been for a lot of years.
Look at this lift here from Auckland. Just not resting on their laurels. The score's 8-0 with 6 to go. Game's well in hand, but they're just still getting up. Fantastic to see.
And Bartlett moving forward. There's a lot of refs out on the field at the moment. You see Auckland, they're always going to try and push to the end to Vasa. Looking there. Can they be fooled by the hooter? I think they may have been there. They're just a little bit of indecision as to whether that was the end of the game or not. Look at the lift from Auckland here. That's active.
Yeah, that's
important.
Incredible.
Counties just get forward, sending single points up.
When you can make yards with your defence, you know it's working well. The set starting on their 10-metre line, they've got them back to the 10-metre line now with 3 touches. 4th one now. What can Counties do? They want a strong dump here.
Speaks to the fitness of the Auckland players. Pete Walters saying that he never made that touch.
Yeah, I'm surprised he put his hand up for that, knowing that you can't roll early on the 7-metre line. I remember first reffing him, and you knew who he was before you actually knew what he looked like when you come into this game. And then the first time I reffed him, I went to call him offside, and he looked back at me, not with any negative or nasty facial expressions, and I was like, oh, dummy half, carry on.
Short ball. Oh, not quite there for Counties. Oh, so close.
Yeah, one of their best attacking raids so far. Couldn't quite complete it, and we'll watch this Auckland team again just drop straight back in to their rucking pattern. Good defence here from Counties, though. Disrupted them a couple of times so far. Not the flow that they normally have. 5th touch coming up now.
Getting over. They need to cover this.
Plucks it out of the air. But a turnover. 4 minutes to go. 8-0. What's the mentality of each of these teams at this stage of the game? 8 minutes, Auckland well in hand. They're going to be the 2025 over 55 men's champions. What is it now? Just playing it out the last time you're going to play with this team?
I wouldn't expect so. Certainly not for Auckland. They'll have plenty more, tournaments in them, and it's not like the likes of Shane Edwards will ever take a back foot anywhere. So he'll ensure that they just keep on keeping on. For County, it's important that they just keep trying to ruck this out, keep the pressure on.
One hand, one bounce. Unfortunately, not allowed in this one. Counties did well there. See them just shifting to this right-hand side as we look at it on the screen, getting ready to sub. Again, Auckland just lifting up with real intensity.
That's the hole they want. Just get forward. It's good work in here. Now that's a better punch for Counties. It's sort of been this way for them in the second half. It's when they get into some good positions. Just the last pass hasn't quite been there. Or the catch hasn't quite been there.
The fact the Hooter just went again. It seems like there might be a drop-off out there, Rod. Tell you what, they need to save him up for finals field.
Still searching for that drop-off, Maya.
Still searching. This one definitely ain't going to it. Another strong touch. Good call from the referee. Attacking player. Body position was not where it needed to be. Ooh. Mental error there from the Auckland player. Counties love to see them get one on the board. Just a little bit of reward for their efforts. They've had a great campaign this 2025 National Championship. Doing incredibly well, getting through to this final. Really put it on this Auckland team initially, and then just the class of players like Walters, Edwards, McDonald, physicality of Tuivasa. Unfortunately took it away.
Yeah, but it's important when you're attacking, just to identify your targets, and probably hitting at Walters is probably not the best place to start. You see nice heavy touch there by Counties. They haven't packed their bags yet. Still willing to get into it, and as we see Tuivasa.
Just in case the ref was in two minds, but sticking to her task.
Yeah, I think a little bit fortunate there. I think Auckland was definitely off the mark with that play ball. Puts the step on, looking back outside. Auckland keeping the ball alive.
A bit of hot potato crept into the game the last 2 minutes. It's been quite entertaining. Well done there from Counties Manukau. They were chasing left, right and centre. Now just need to control the ball. Really trying to get to their sub-box. Sucking in the big ones.
Working hard, Counties. Got away with one there. Oh, nice work down the line. So you draw in last 20 seconds. Get the ball down and pick. Can he find the hole there? Not quite.
10 seconds left in this one. We're going to hear some big cheering just in one of the backfields. Always get more cheering at the end of a drop-off. Surely if I keep on harping about this, TNZ is going to make it happen, Rod. And there we have it. There was no hooter. We were manually taking the time for this, the 55 men's final. Auckland versus Counties Manukau. The class of Auckland up against the effort of Counties Manukau. Auckland win this one 8-0. And that's the conclusion of our second final. 2 down, 6 to go. Up next, we have the 45 men's final. Canterbury versus Counties Manukau. Don't go too far. We'll be right back with that one.